Who is the Alpha of Stardom? I am Chris with the Joshi Wrestling Recap for Stardom April 9th, 2022, available on Stardom World. This was one of Stardom's smaller touring shows, but was still enjoyable. The third match on the card between Donna Del Mondo and God's Eye helped set the table for Julia and Shiori's feud, and there was good wrestling up and down the card. This was a multi-camera show with no commentary. We start with a short and speedy tag team match, Azumi with Saya Kamatani versus a team of Momo Kogo and Saya Ida. In a battle between a team with two champs, the other team is a rookie and someone who recently returned from injury. Their winner was not in doubt, but they still made the match interesting. At first it looked like Azumi was going to totally dominate Momo Kogo, but Azumi whiffed on a dropkick which gave Momo a chance. Momo Kogo seized the chance and with the help of Saida got some offense in, and the match was not one-sided after that. This whiffed dropkick, if it was planned in advance, was pretty smart to get the audience into the match, even if they knew who was going to win. If the missed kick was an accident and the wrestlers covered it up so well, that speaks volumes of their skill. Both teams throughout the match were quick, and there was plenty of drop kicks from both teams. Saida shot off some heavy chops and at one point caught Azumi in midair, repositioned her body and body slammed her. But as I said, we knew who was going to win this match. Azumi rolled up Saida with the Azumi Sushi to get the pinfall victory in this opening match. The second match was only 4 minutes long, but it wasn't a squash match, oddly. Lady C versus Utami Hashishita. The first thing I noticed is when Utami came to the ring, she was more casual or laid back a bit. Since she lost her Wonder of Stardom red belt, her character has been slowly evolving to be more approachable is what I would call it. As for the match, Utami Hashishita actually gave a lot of offense to Lady C, but the moves that Utami did land, like a lariat or a forearm, had a lot of impact. Lady C did show off her boots and overhead chops, but an air raid crash followed by a bridging suplex got Utami Hashishita the pinfall victory. And while leaving the ring, Utami shot heart symbols to the audience and smiled and waved. Donald Del Mondo versus newly formed God's Eye was next. For Donald Del Mondo, we had Julia, Tekla, and Mei Sakurai versus God's Eye, which is Shuri, Mirai, and new roster member Ami Shirai. After God's Eye wasn't available during night 1 of Cinderella Tournament on the 3rd, backstage Donald Del Mondo confronted Shuri and Mirai about Mirai's defection. Not many words were exchanged, but Julia told Mirai this would be a hard road she's taking leaving Donald Del Mondo, and Mirai said she knew it would be. Mei Sakurai seemed the most affected by Mirai's leaving Donald Del Mondo, and her and Mirai exchanged tearful looks before Donald Del Mondo left. I was surprised that this match was happening so soon, but it seems this will be a long-term storyline. The match itself was good and started with Julia and Shuri in the ring. Both these women know each other so well, it was hard to get any locks, not reversed or strikes to land. It wasn't until Julia tagged in Mei Sakurai and began triple teaming Shuri that they got anything to land. This match was pretty back and forth, and the other team really had the advantage for long before a teammate would come in to break up a pin or submission or gang up on their opponent. As for the new wrestler Ami Shirai, I guess the easiest way to describe her is halfway between Mirai and Himeka, if that makes sense. Ami Shirai did hit a neat Samoa slam with the pin that I am surprised I don't see more often in wrestling. The ending of the match saw Mirai and Mei Sakurai going against each other while God's Eye and Donald Del Mondo were keeping each other busy outside the ring. I really liked this part of the match. Both wrestlers did a good job showing the conflicted emotions of fighting former friends. But Mirai is a better wrestler than Mei Sakurai, and after hitting a lariat, Mirai applied her special submission, the Miramare, and got the submission victory. Post-match, Mirai got on the mic and said that God's Eye and Donald Del Mondo will fight forever, which Shuri echoed that God's Eye and Donald Del Mondo will crush each other. The feud of Donald Del Mondo versus God's Eye is a proxy war, I think, of who is the alpha in Stardom, Shuri or Julia. Julia thinks she is, but Shuri has the proof of the World of Stardom red belt showing she is right now, but that can always change. A trios match was next, Stars versus Donald Del Mondo. This match was a preview of what will probably be the next Art of Stardom Trios Championship match. Current champs Mai Himipoi, which is Maika, Himeka, and Nasapoi, versus Kaguma, Hazuki, and Mayu Iwatani. This was a good match with pretty non-stop action. Kaguma's bear powers worked really well against Mai Himipoi as been shown in the past, and this match started with Kaguma successfully getting Himeka to do the Kuma pose before Kaguma kicked her in the gut and the match started in earnest. Both teams have great team chemistry, but Mai Himipoi are the champs and you could see they are more in tune with each other. An example of this is when Maika and Himeka had a section of the match where they were just running into Hazuki and Kaguma with shoulder tackles in the corner at top speed with no hesitation in step with each other. The back portion of this match was my favorite part. Natsupoi and Kaguma were in the match for a pretty extended period. There were so many reverse pin-up attempts, forearms, some suplexes, and even a spot where they collided in midair with crossbodies. It looked like Natsupoi was on the verge of winning as she climbed to the top corner and hit her Ferial Gift Splash, but time expired. Time limit draw. I don't know when the Artists of Stardom Trios match will take place, but it should be very good when it does. The final match on the card was a fun 8-women's tag team match between Ototai and Cosmic Angels. For Ototai, we had Starlight Kid, Momo Watanabe, Ruaka, and Saki Kashima, while Cosmic Angels was Tom Nakano, Unagi Sayaka, Mina Shirakawa, and Waka Tsukiyama. There aren't really any storylines going on between these groups right now, but there have been hints that Unagi Sayaka and Mina Shirakawa are interested in the Goddess of Stardom tag belts that Starlight Kid and Momo Watanabe currently hold. On their way to the ring, Cosmic Angels did their dance like normal, and Waka is still bad at it. Momo Watanabe and Mina Shirakawa started in the match, and it looked like Mina had the upper hand to start, but Ototai ran in and ganged up on Mina. Stardom did subtitle a little argument that the ref and Momo had during this part of the match, which was nice. He said he wouldn't count a pin for an illegal choke that Momo was applying, while Momo Watanabe yelled at him and called him a grandpa. It was during this part and a bit later that I noticed that Saki Kashima was targeting Mina Shirakawa's breasts with her boots, not her chest as a whole, but specifically her breasts. I want to point out a couple bits in this match that I liked. A little later in the match, Starlight Kid had an extended forearm exchange with Unagi Sayaka, who followed that with a 619. And another section is when Tom Nakano and Saki Kashima kept dodging and countering each other's moves. These two have good chemistry in ring, and I was surprised when I checked that these two have only had 2 singles matches against each other. There was a lot of chaos in this match, wrestlers running in to help their teammates, and some brawls in ring between both teams. Tom Nakano and Mina Shirakawa also did stereo crossbodies from the top corner to the outside onto Ototai. The turning point of the match is when everyone was down from brawling and run-ins except Waka Tsukiyama, who stayed in the corner waiting for the tag. Tom Nakano slowly got to the corner, and you could see a thought cross her face to not tag in Waka. But she did, and Waka Tsukiyama ran wild. Until Saki Kashima rolled her up with the Kishikaise for the pinfall victory. And that was the show. It was an enjoyable show. I would recommend watching the final 3 matches. The next Stardom show is on the 10th, and we'll have 2 Cinderella tournament matches, and a Goddess of Stardom tag title match between current champs Starlight Kid and Momo Watanabe, defending against Julia and Tekla. This has been the Joshi Wrestling Recap for Stardom, April 9th, 2022. Thanks for listening.